What's up, DubNation? Rich with Let's Go Warriors back again. Let me set up everything because I still have all my settings from the last live, which I thought was going to be Yaxel's third game, but no, it turned out they were going to rest him, which is all good because they didn't have a crowd at all for Chase Center. So let me just make sure all the settings are set. Okay, yeah, so pop out the live chat. And pop that out right now. Let's see. All right, cool. Your bros friend, second cuz is on board. Good to have you. Okay, I'll get to your question shortly. Let me just write the agenda. Agenda for tonight. Let's see. First thing is Quinten Post. Two, Rui Hachimura. Three, DeMar DeRozan. And four, Brandon Williams. With a little link back to the last live that we did, which I will put on the back screen right now. Choose a window, this back screen right here. YouTube, Let's Go Warriors. New intel on LeBron. So building on previous live regarding LeBron, which there's the link for that. So yeah, boom, I'm happy with that comment. Put that up there. Do a little switcheroo here. Get the Discord colors up and put a star on that comment. Your bro's friend, second cuz. If we don't get LeBron, would you take DeMar, Westbrook, or both? I don't want old guys anymore, but I guess DeMar is the only good one left out of the rest of what's available right now. Because there really aren't a whole ton of young guys available unless you're named Jonathan Kuminga, as it just so happens. And there's no way he would want to play for Steve Kerr anymore. So Steve Kerr could, get on his knees and beg and say, sorry, I should have played you. And that's, nah. That happens in basketball. Daniel Barry. So I don't know about Westbrook. We'll take a look. Have a trade, but waiting until Braun's decision. Why do you guys, we don't have a trade. We can only get a free agent. See if I can fit all that. There. Hope that makes sense. Yeah, Brandon Williams. Yeah, he's been on the radar for a while now. That was originally rumored by, well, this is the beauty of our Discord. Free Discord sign up. I gotta always pump this, and I'll get it fixed 100% shortly. I like to call it a knowledge base because, and searchable, because that's what makes it super awesome. And so, for example, I have our Discord here, and hey, Yadi, who is I think she's employed by the Warriors actually to do Chinese market. I want Yaxel and Lejay to feel like they have someone they can lean on. We are our team, just using what I learned, reapplying it. Okay. Hey, what's this? Reporting on what not to expect during this free agency period for LeBron James. Huh. Okay. See, this just came in 9:21. I'm curious at it, but I'm going to have to play this on my phone because of YouTube restrictions. So let me just get up to date with the most latest and greatest from Chris Haynes. Let's see. Can't play it for you either because of it's on my earbuds, which did I have? Oh, okay. So I can't play this for you, but you can go to Chris Haynes. I mean, again, the Discord sign up is broken right now. Although, if you sign up, I'll get to you. But yeah, let's just go to Chris Haynes on Twitter. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Chris Haynes. Still going to take a little bit of time, and they're not taking pitch meetings. Okay, so no pitch meetings. So let me put that in the Discord Warrior section. Chris Haynes says on NBA TV that LeBron will not be taking any pitch meetings with any teams. Rich Paul will field all calls and do not expect him to make a decision anytime soon. To make a decision anytime soon. Okay, I've just added that to the Discord, and I'll put it in the Dunleavy section. So if you happen to have a free account with us, you'll be able to see it. This is the VIP section for VIP accounts, $5 a month. We got feeds coming in from Twitter all the time. And then down here, if I scroll all the way down, you'll see that I just wrote that in while I talked to you just now. So breaking news from Chris Haynes himself, the Dunleavy section down here in the free section. Boom. So part of what we'll do today is review the news that happened today. Let's see. Kind of crazy. Draymond is currently a free agent. Why is it crazy? Because, I mean, did you see Bobby Marks' post? I don't think so. I see all of his posts because we have a salary section, a salary cap section right here, and he's part of it. So you're telling me doom and gloom, we're a second April. Are you sure it's not the Nuggets? So let's look inside salary cap for any mention of the Warriors. Where do you guys get this stuff? You guys instantly forget that you should keep an eye on where you heard something, or and then it gets lost, and then you go, oh, I heard. At least you knew it was Bobby Marks, but I don't know. Let's go like this. Search on the problem with Discord is that the keywords are kind of weird. Like you literally have to just, it's only one word at a time. I've been really disappointed with that, but at least you can search on them. Whereas on Twitter, it's very hard to search on information. Although I suppose we could just go down the list on all of the tweets that he made today. Hoop Collective, maybe. I don't know. I would have. It would have rung a bell if he had talked about the Warriors, and I probably would have repeated it in here. Is it this? Tough to see them matching the offer sheet. That's not doom and gloom. It's a fact of life. Why do you just make up roster construction fits? Huh? $2:37 p.m. Pacific time? Searching Twitter now. 2:37 p.m. What, how many hours ago? Because Twitter's just telling me X hours ago. So that's 7 hours ago. So it's relatively recent. I've got a reposted Yummisuk 5 hours ago. You don't have a link, buddy? Oh, you can't do links. You guys got to help me help you. Do you think Warriors fans really want LeBron on the team? Some do, some don't. It's up to you, but I think it's pretty much a no-brainer that he would help our team. And it's only for 1 year. Sheesh. The impatience of DubNation or Warriors Twitter. Would you be open to the idea of potentially making a trade with Portland? Again, trade what? Our top 5 salary slots are old or injured. The 5th one being Moses Moody. $12.5 million slot, which is not enough to get to Sharp's number. It's called salary matching. QP got paid. So if it's this one that you're calling doom and gloom, it's not doom and gloom. It's just based on their finances. And let's get into that right now. So 17 minutes in, we're going to go through why we cannot retain Quinten Post. So I ended up with this, so I should probably go through the process, but okay, how should we start? I mean, I already did the work on it, but here's the situation where this non-taxpayer mid-level is supposed to be LeBron or maybe DeMar. LBJ DeMar, let's say. Okay. Let's do this so you can read it. Format. Resize column, fit data. There. So Draymond had to take a discount. By my count, it's a pretty big discount to have to fit LeBron all under the second apron, which is this number 209. It's got to be below 209 million. And right, Yaxel is fixed, so Steph is fixed, Jimmy's fixed, Kristap's fixed. Draymond is variable, that's why it's in gray. Non-taxpayer mid-level is 15 million. That's the exact number. That's the most you can use, so I didn't make it gray. This one was Moody. I had to change it to a veterans minimum. So we have to trade Moody out. There's no other way. And with all of that said, Quinten Post was making 265,000, which is 200,000 above the veterans minimum. So we had a little bit of space under the first apron, and this is assuming we get somebody at the non-taxpayer mid-level. So I go, okay, well, we can just give the little bit of extra room that we have to him. And this was the number that I came up with based on, all of these things. Now we've got Melton here. This is done deal pretty much, 5.477 million for the biannual exception that we used to get him as a free agent and to sign him. And I even signed LeJ Jones, but this can be let's just call it rookie minimum, because it might be LJ Cryer. Will Richard is signed, Guy Santos is signed, Brandon is signed, Al Horford as well, and Yaxel. So that's the most we can pay him. So does it come to you as a surprise that Memphis would come out of nowhere and they didn't just offer 6 million, which we can't afford. They offered double this number. Do you think that's a coincidence, right? It just so happens to be double the number that I came up with. Now you're going over the top. And the other thing is what was really funny is if you go to Quinten Post down here in the free section. So see, our Discord is nice and neat. So you can go search on a subject matter right away. So you scroll down. I did a YouTube short bragging about the fact that I already called this. I called this. I knew Quinten Post would be poached because it's not that much money to pay a center like 5 or 6 million. Now, the Memphis Grizzlies went berserk, but they did it so that there's no way we can match. You have to submit an offer and then either it gets matched or not. So you can't just go, you can't submit 2 or 3 offers. You can't go 5 million. And then the Warriors go, yeah, we'll do that. Okay. No. Let me redo. Let me do 6 million. No, you have to just make an offer, right? So Memphis has a whole bunch of money to spend. Let's go to capsheets.com, a little bit easier on that one. We'll go to Memphis. Total payroll is 154 million. Total salaries, you got to include Cole Anthony here, some dead money, but total salaries 159 million. The luxury tax line is way down there, but actually they have cap space. So where's the cap space? Salary cap. Come on, Yossi. Salary cap. Why is it way down here? That makes no sense. Oh, because he wanted to include the cap holds. Okay, so cap holds, they don't have any. Yeah, so you want to add 10 million of this, and they'll be over the salary cap. But they're only 5 million over the salary cap. So all they have to do is just renounce a couple of these guys. Like they could just renounce Taj Gibson. That's easy. There's 3 million gone. And they could renounce Omax. These other guys are worth keeping, I think. Jalen Wells, definitely worth keeping. But yeah, you just waive Taj Gibson and waive Olivier Maxence Prosper or AJ Johnson, probably Olivier, because he's older. Boom, you can add Quinten Post easily. So they have cap space. The good news is we'll be in this position next season. So we could go get Quinten Post back, actually. But Memphis has so much cap space going forward and they're rebuilding. They could, if Quinten Post doesn't suck, then they can just pick up the option for next season. So, yeah, that's how we knew Quinten Post was going to get poached. Is DeMar a good fit? Like, what choice do we have, right? Well, you're going to have to make him fit. Now, there is another way to do this, which is Brandon Williams. So you could pass on DeMar. You could. But you're thinking about it also in terms of like, well, we don't have Moses. So, yeah, so let's ask the question. It's a block or a charge. Would you rather keep Moses, who is out indefinitely, or pick up DeMar in his spot? Because if you're going to pay DeMar 15 million, which makes sense because his salary was 25 million, he gets waived, 10 million of it's guaranteed. So as of right now, as a baller, he could feel like, damn, okay, I just lost $15 million. So as a free agent, I want to get the non-taxpayer mid-level. which also makes sense in terms of why they gave him that contract. They knew the non-taxpayer mid-level was going to be 15. So they made the contract such that if we don't guarantee you, if we waive you, then we'll lose out on 10 million and you will lose out on 15 million. But we both mutually think that you can go find a non-taxpayer mid-level free agent spot somewhere. Okay, so the poll goes, would you rather keep Moses, who is out indefinitely, or pick up DeMar in his spot? Wait on Moses or have DeMar take his spot, essentially. Or you can just go, I don't know, maybe 50-50, block charge. It's tough. Let me think. What would I do? I think I'm more inclined to just pick him up because Moses is injured. It's not his fault. I think Moses is better than DeMar. I really do. But hey, look, we're in the asset accumulation business. And the other thing is, if we got DeMar, then he would come off the books. So I'm leaning slightly towards DeMar, even though I don't know his three-point shooting is as good as Moody's. He's not as fast, all those things, right? So is DeMar a good fit? I mean, I want to teach you guys how to look at it from an asset management perspective. So there's an asset management issue that he will come off the books, whereas if we keep Moody stays on the books, although 13 million seems to be fair, right? So I am leaning towards going with DeMar, and it's mostly financially related. All right, let's just jump around on comments. Let's see. It's obvious the Warriors are going to get DeMar. Gosh, Jim, sometimes you're just very, oh, gee, shucks. So we suck. So is there anything I can do to make your comments more high vibrational? Because do you notice? Do you notice when you tweet and when you type in your stuff? It's like you want me to feel bad about my team. We're Let's Go Warriors. It's my job not to allow you to do that. It's actually my job to make you feel better about it. And everything I've learned about salary cap management, I feel like I've read Mike Dunleavy's mind. So you can either just poo-poo that and say, oh, you're full of shit, Rich. Mike Dunleavy sucks and he's scared to take a chance. Or you can just open your mind and maybe learn. Again, I know you've heard this. You've been on my lives. Kristaps Porzingis, $3 million guaranteed right here for next season. Moses probably going to get traded out if we go the DeMar route. And really, who else is there besides DeMar? Like, what I'm saying is from an asset management standpoint, it may be useful to use this exception to get a free agent, whether his name is DeMar or Joe Schmo. But you can't sign a guy that's not actually worth that much, because then you have a bad contract that you'll never be able to trade, right? So try to be more high vibrational is the goal. It's called lowering your entropy. I highly advise to sign up for the Discord, which is also lowering your entropy because it organizes all of the data for you rather than just doom scrolling and having all this negativity spewed out at you. That is, that's Twitter rewards people that make you feel bad. So you're just going to feel bad about your team, and then you're going to reflect that and you're going to reproject it, and you'll try to reproject it onto my channel, which I'm going to try and fight because it's in your mind. Use your mind, guys. Be high vibrational. Be like J. Cole. You don't want me to play the Instagram again, do you? I probably will if I get like 3 consecutive low vibrational comments. That's just how I run my channel. If you don't like that, just go right back to Warriors Twitter. That's fine. It's up to you. It's your free will. I'm just giving you an alternative to live your Warriors fan life, which then, believe it or not, it spills over into your regular life. And you always wondered, how does Steph stay so joyous and all of that? It's using his mind to understand how things work. LeBron won't do anything before July 30th. This will inform how serious the Wizards are keeping AD. Who said that? There's a thought. That's a little vague. So who made that thought? Someone credible? Anyone can have a thought. Maybe it's a 2-year plan. No, it's just clear the cap sheet by next summer. What do you mean 2-year plan? Maybe we just have our usage of definitions crossed. So basically, if we match QP's offer, then we don't get LeBron. We don't get usage of the non-taxpayer mid-level exception, which is used to get LeBron or DeMar. Unless DeMar wanted to play, unless either player wanted to play for us at the vet min, which is unlikely. Now, DeMar or LeBron might play at the veterans minimum for another team because that other team might be more positioned to get to their conference finals more so than we are. Whether it's Denver, far-fetched. I don't think Denver can afford anything, and they're a mess. They're just a mess. I wouldn't go there as a vet min to try and win. Like, dude, your cap sheet is crazy. You're going to lose Cam Johnson or Peyton Watson or somebody else. Christian Braun is way overpaid. Your cap sheet's a mess. Like, okay, maybe this year you might win a championship, make a run, but it's really OKC Spurs. Why not go to the Eastern Conference if that's your goal? And again, I said the same thing on this live that we did 2 nights ago. However, I was told, spoiler, I was told that LeBron really wants to play with Steph. Now, that feeling could change on any day, just like we were fortunate on July 4th, 2016. On that morning, KD felt like playing with the Warriors and coming to see what it was like to be in the culture of the Warriors. So it just depends how you feel on the day you decide to make your decision. There's a hater. Definitely get DeMar, meaning you want DeMar instead of Bron? Or why is there what is the need to type that in? I mean, like, are you an absolute Sith Lord? Like, Sith Lords make absolutes. I don't know. I don't want to confuse the audience. Like, we absolutely have to get DeMar. I'm trying to give you options and keep your mind open and not get trapped into the negativity all the time, because then you can't learn that way. And then, you'll come on this live after we lost a game, and then you'll say we're the worst team ever and all of this stuff, when it's like, that's not what basketball's supposed to teach us. DeMar, he can't help us this year and be the Jimmy replacement until he comes back. What if he's the Moses replacement? I haven't even... Never gave one thought to Jimmy. Do you know why I never gave one thought to Jimmy? Because it's a different asset class, right? Jimmy is 56 million, which makes him almost untradeable. So all these scenarios, trade him to, Pelicans for DeJounte and Trey Murphy. Why would the Pelicans do that? This guy's injured for a while. Jimmy for AD. Why would Washington do that? It's just, I don't know why you guys always think of that. Chris Middleton, I think the market value for him, Chris market value tanked. Why did his pop quiz? Why did Chris Middleton's value tank? He was injured. So, he's viewed as a vet min. And sure, he can be a vet min target for us. But we're talking about the non-taxpayer mid-level. I'm going to go through the comments one by one. So your red question marks will have to wait. I would love to have Bruce Brown. Okay, now here's the problem. Problem with Bruce Brown is that he's small. So, Brown and Pods off the bench. So, nah, I pass. Is it possible for a person like Steph to ask to redo his contract? Nope. All contracts in the NBA are guaranteed unless you restructure to get paid more. And you probably had a hunch, right? So basketball is a little bit different than American football. Curry gets an extension and go all in next year. Go all in can also mean going free agent shopping. Nobody's listening to me on that, or maybe those of you that are listening just aren't typing it in. That's fine. For the 39th time, we are going to have a clean cap sheet next summer, and we get to rebuild the team around Steph, just like the Lakers did around Luka just now. Yep, not a lot of options left. 50-50 on Debo. LeBron will go to Dubs. Dubs already take a pay cut to get that cap space. Yeah. Deck Tabs. What's up? Finally, a comment that I went, yeah, and it's one of our loyal guys. There's a connection there, I think the Warriors really didn't have a lot of options. Yep. As I've been telling you, these 4 contracts right here are immovable. And there's one more that's not on there. That would be Draymond Green. And then the other one would actually be Horford too, but he doesn't even make double-digit millions. So, those are what they call fillers in trades. Benedict Mathurin. Well, we have to have cap space to go get the guy. I don't think we got enough. I don't think an NTMLE is enough to get Mathurin's agent excited. But we'll see. Plus, Clippers can match. So why bother? Right? You gotta understand cap sheets. So then if you're wondering about Benedict Mathurin, go to capsheets.com, brother. Click on Los Angeles Clippers and go look at total salaries. Wow, it's a paltry 157. All they got to do is make a few maneuvers here, and they'd have enough space for Mathurin. In fact, they can sign him using their own. He's their own free agent, so they can go over the cap to re-sign him. That's called bird rights. So he played on the Clippers, so they can. He's got bird rights, so they can re-sign him and go over the cap. So they can sign him to any number. So, Draymond is willing to make a sacrifice. Yes. Question is, can a player who is signed on like Steph do it as well? Yeah, I answered that already. You only need to ask the question once, you know? Oh, okay. English is not your first language. Gotcha. Let QP go. Yep, we have no choice. What else? You just said our Warriors aren't making the conference finals. Any fans should believe. Why are you knocking me based on what the front office is doing? Because I'm being realistic and I'm being positive, whereas you're being negative, quite frankly. You're 0 for 2 on the high vibrational stuff. Deck tabs, 1 for 1. He's batting 1,000. 1 for 1 on the threes. You're 0 for 2. Sorry, man. If you're going to call out the Warriors, then I got to call you out. You got to be able to take it, Jim. If you're going to dish it, then take it. Otherwise, just be a nice person. You walk in a cafe with a bunch of Warriors fans. Are you going to say that, oh, we suck? I don't understand that. I have a feeling that LeBron really wants to play with Steph. Oh, was that feeling maybe because I said that we had an NBA insider tell me that? That's okay. The feeling is mutual. Making it maybe longer to decide. Really to get AD. We're not getting AD. I don't think we're desperate enough. Now, if our cap sheet was tied up, then yeah. Right? Like, if we had all these contracts, if Jimmy was guaranteed through here, or actually, no, Jimmy would be the trade chip. If Porzingis was tied up, if Moody was tied up many years, you know, Yaxel is a rookie contract, so that doesn't count. And like, then yeah, but like AD coming in to make 62 million next year, and then all this pressure to extend him, like, you know, he wants the money if he's in Washington. You know, they're doing what they can to get him the money on a bad team. So Rich Paul is doing what he wants to do. So whatever. It takes longer to decide, then okay. You know, I'm just not like all in despair. It is what it is. What next summer is going to be a shopping spree unless something changes. So I'm looking forward to that, and I just hope that we get through the season as best as we can. It's either going to be OKC or the Spurs anyways, right? So, you know, I'm just not stressed out about this. Let's enjoy the game. And if it goes according to how I think it will go, what a great lesson to all of DubNation, especially people like, you know, people on Warriors Twitter. Just enjoy the season, for crying out loud. Like, for once, don't have any expectations. None. That doesn't mean, oh, we suck, we're playing team. No, just go into every game as if it's not predictable. Like, that's the essence of basketball. You guys forgot that. So it's almost like this is a pretty good thing that the universe concocted to have, you know, hey, we're just dealing with it. This guy's injured, catastrophic injury. This guy's injured, catastrophic injury. Hey, it's going to be really hard. Why not enjoy the game again? You know, this kind of thing, you know, would be helpful to the fan base. Is it possible to keep Moody and sign LeBron? Nope. I did that. Already did 3 to 4 videos on that. Nope. Like you want to pay Draymond even less than 15 million? That's a lot to ask. He was going to make 27 million. It's like, it's not even fair as a human being, just on the street. If you were dealing with somebody on the street, and you go, hey, random dude, let's say I owe you, let's say you were going to go, you were going to go deliver these groceries for me for $27. But can you do it actually where I can just pay you 15 now and 15 tomorrow? And then you turn around and go, oh, wait. How about if I just pay you $10 now and 17 tomorrow? He'd be like, wait a minute. You offered me 27 in the first place, and I offered to help you out to go to 15. Now you want to go down to $10 and then 17 tomorrow? Hell no, right? So that's an example for you to try and understand the situation from Draymond's point of view. Sharp idea, was thinking out loud. Curious if they're interested in guys like Zaire. Zaire, how much is he making, right? So we have to establish people's values first. Miami? No. Memphis? Is he on Memphis? Or what team is he on now? I don't even know. Oh, where do I go look for that? Here. Zaire Williams. What team did he end up on? BK Ref? New Orleans? Oh, Brooklyn. Okay. So we go to Brooklyn on capsheets.com. It'd be great if you guys started making this a habit. I don't get any commission from Yossi Goslin on this, but it's a great resource to help you, increase your knowledge. Zaire. He's a free agent, so I'll go to Hoops Hype, punch in 25-26 to see what his salary was, and go down to Brooklyn. So let's see how much Zaire made. $6 million. Okay. So that would be a taxpayer mid-level exception for a team that's over the first apron and under the second apron, right? Well, how are we going to do that? We got Melton already, and there's just no, well, yeah, he's a free agent, so I don't know how we would do that. So, yeah. Golden State Fanatic. What is the transaction to acquire Zaire? Next one was Gary Trent. So what was he? Milwaukee, maybe? See what I'm doing here? Try to copy my process, and you'll learn so much more just by looking up these Gary Trent Jr. So looks like a veteran's minimum. So yeah. Golden State Fanatic. GTJ seems like a vet min, possibly doable, but you usually need to fry the bigger fish first. See what you got. So, I just don't really spend a whole lot of energy on veterans minimums. They are not going to, lift your team to the next tier. They just fill in. So, yeah, I mean, why not Gary Trent Jr. or, there's so many veterans minimums available out there, and someone's going to have to replace Moody. But if LeBron doesn't come, then maybe you go back to, we haven't talked about this, but I'm trying to get through the comments. So maybe you go back to a taxpayer team, and DeAnthony Melton is on a taxpayer mid-level, And then you have, I don't know how many minimum spots you have. So it looks like you have a couple. So yeah, Gary Trent Jr., why not? Jimmy will come back about the same. I don't do predictions. If we get LeBron, our starting lineup, what does our bench look like? It looks like whatever you want to reorganize these names as. Okay. Pods has to get traded. Like, why? That makes no sense. Pods financially is a good asset. So now is not the time to trade him. Oh, boy. Will Richard? Yeah, good pick. Dean Chambers. What about Westbrook? I don't know. Like I said, let's worry about Westbrook at some other time. Of course, we could just out of the blue go ahead and sign him right now. It would surprise me. I don't know. So, yeah, Westbrook or Gary Trent Jr. Yeah, okay. Yeah, like veterans minimums, I'm cool with whatever, like I don't really want to spend the energy nitpicking the veterans minimum spots, right? Like it's whatever. Jermichael Green, right? That didn't work out. There's been others. Bielitsa, Otto Porter, that was exciting. But it's hard to really tell, right? Like before the season, before 2022, you go, oh, Otto Porter, but then there were other choices too. And like, so you just kind of go, okay, yeah, sure. Otto Porter. I don't know. Otto Porter's been injured a long time. Turned out to be great, made a difference. So I don't put a lot of weight on the veterans minimum guys, but you never know. Could be an Otto Porter type, but that's more of a reclamation project type guy. And I don't know that Gary Trent Jr. is like a reclamation type guy. Chris Middleton could be. So you might want to take a flyer on a guy like that. Same with Russell Westbrook. He could be one of the flyer ones that you take. So it's just impossible to predict. And it's just like, all right, whatever you want to do on that one, Mike Dunleavy, all good. Jet Howard. Boy, I don't know. No idea. Trying to build the team around with that we don't know what we actually need. Okay. Again, the cap sheet gets cleared next summer, so I'm hopeful. He has a better agent than JK? How? I'm not a fan of throwing JK or his agent under the bus. Granted, I do have a relationship with IG, but still, technically, if JK gets the non-taxpayer mid-level, then 15 million is more than 10 million. So do I want the free throw rule to change? Nope. Warriors can sign some players now that Dre opted out. They can sign one player. It's more like they can sign one player at 15 million. Planning for the future. I just explained the whole Trey Murphy thing. Oh, boy. So basically the only option other than taxpayer mid-level or leveraging our draft picks to trade folks. What does that mean, leveraging our draft picks? Oh, right, trading picks. Get money off our books in return for something. I don't understand the question. I know English is your second language, but we are going to try and use this non-taxpayer mid-level on LeBron or DeMar. And if we use that, then Moody has to be traded because there's no other way to do it. You can't trade pods. I tried it right here. It doesn't work. The numbers don't work. Even without Quinten Post, that's only 200,000. We're still over the first apron, which we can't be by using that non-taxpayer mid-level. Sad that we can't get De'Aaron. Yeah, but next summer, again, for the millionth time, next summer we can go get an equivalent. Whoever's due up next after, next season, next summer's version of De'Aaron, we can go get, which is why I'm okay with everything. Like, no bother. Hang loose, Hawaiian style. I'll try to go quicker down here so we can look at some other options. Yaxel Gee combo sounds interesting. If we trade Moody, wouldn't we have to send them to a team without? Exactly. Yep. Correct. Maybe 1 second round pick, unless that team values Moses as kind of a steal. But yeah, probably. But hey, Braun is only for 1 year, or DeMar. So yeah, we might be all right. Moses is coming back. Don't know. Who knows? Did you watch any summer league games? Yeah, I did watch parties right here. We actually, if I refresh this, we just did game 3, but it wasn't really game 3. Yaxel game 3, but he didn't play. Neither did Will. So yeah, I'm going to do a scouting report on Yaxel, but I'm driving up to Tahoe tomorrow, so it might be tough to hurry that up, but should get it out before they play in Vegas, which will be in 3 days. Jimmy for Garland and Brook Lopez. Why would they do that? So Clippers want an injured guy. Again, I don't want to spend picks. And no way for Garland and Brook. We could re-sign Draymond. Maybe you won't. Draymond is a warrior. Don't worry about that. We don't go through this whole trouble for him to leave the team and for him to waste 27 million or get a veterans minimum somewhere for, go to Detroit on a veterans minimum. Yeah, but you lost, $20 million or $22 million. Clippers want Peyton Watson, so they have to get rid of Mathurin. We sign and trade, like, we don't have anything to trade again. Top 5 salary slots are old or injured. Yeah, I don't see it happening. Like, why would Mathurin do that? I would just, if I were Mathurin, I would just, you're going to trade with the Warriors for me at what value? 12 million, Pajemski and Yaxel. I don't know. What do you guys want to do all these trades? And I'm sitting here going, you can't do any trades. When you trade, you have to trade something of value. Pajemski at 5.7 million, that's not valuable enough. You're trading all these tiny little things like, no, you got to get up here to make some moves for some impactful people. So if it's Mathurin at least 15 million, but who you're trading, like I said, none of these guys are tradable. Went through the Porzingis thing. If you haven't heard it for 9 times, the last 9 live streams, I'm sorry. You got to put yourself in my shoes. You guys keep asking the same questions. I know it's new people, but these are the same questions every live stream. But it's okay. We need the reps. And yet I feel like we don't get enough reps either, but whatever. Yeah. Trying not to, not to be drugged down like that. So try to keep it high vibrational. We can't trade Porzingis because I tried to do that. And I was told, no, that's not happening. It's like you just signed him and he has a guaranteed contract for only 3 million. If you traded him, then the other team could waive him immediately and he would be out 16 million. And that's just not cool. So now don't expect Porzingis to be traded. He's just not going to be traded. And Yossi Goslin told me that. We had him live on one of these. I should probably put his name in the title so that I can remember which one. But I think it was the Philly one. Yossi came on board and said hello to everybody. And I was like, can we sign and trade Porzingis? He said, no. Do you want Ulbrich on a 2-way? Well, I don't really care about 2-ways either. I don't get, worked up about it. 2-ways, I don't spend too much energy on. Just like vet mins. Like, if it's a 2-way, great. If he's playing in G League, like, these guys are so, like, end of the bench. Have you ever, like, built I guess most people haven't. You build a team for a tournament. You want to make sure your first 7 guys are awesome and can play together, that you've had experience playing together. Your first 7 guys. The 8th guy is kind of more an emergency spot player. Now you're getting a 9, 10, 11. You really just want a guy that can fit in. Now, if you're an NBA team, that pushes down because the NBA grind of 82 games requires you to play 2-way players at some point. Yeah, you want to sign guys to 2-way players so that they won't sign somewhere else. So that's like LJ, that's like Malavai, and then there's one more. So is Ulbrich really that good? And the formula is there another team such that you would feel regret if that other team signed him to a 2-way? Man, that's just, that's up to Mike. Like, I for Let's Go Warriors to worry about that, I would want to hire like a guy to worry about that, because I don't want to worry about that. Like, I want to focus on the big fish. Like, I got to worry about Steph Curry and all these, these first 15 guys on a day-to-day basis that I just really don't have time to worry about the 2-ways. It's nice to think about what's possible, but wow, the turnover on those, right? Nathan Williams. There was a time when everybody on Warriors Twitter demanded that Quindary Weatherspoon be signed to a regular contract, and we haven't heard from him anywhere. There was the time when everybody on Warriors Twitter demanded that Justinian Jessup get to Santa Cruz or a 2-way, and it's like, I've never even seen this guy play, and he didn't even make it. And then, the list goes on and on and on. So, like, my advice to you would be not to fall in love with these guys because it's usually a flash in the pan. It's always a fun thing. Like, I liked how Nate Williams played last year. I really did. And then he had all these games where he turned the ball over so much. And then it was like, oh, okay, maybe not. And that just happens with two-way players. So I just don't get attached to two-way players too much. Assistant coaches, no, but Willie Green's gone. And I forget who else. But that's another thing. Assistant coaches, I don't worry about either. We'll be fine. It comes down to, doesn't matter what assistant coach you have. If Al Horford isn't hitting those threes at the end of the Clippers game, we lose. So yeah, we'll see. Like, I don't really, that doesn't, make me feel worse about the team. If we don't get Willie Green, if we don't get some like big name to be the associate head coach next to Steve, so what? It comes down to the players playing the game. And that goes the same with me. Like, when I had my Asian American tournaments, I was the coach. But honestly, it didn't matter. It comes down to like just how they play. And late in my career, sort of like the equivalent of LeBron, but coaching, I got to a point where I agreed with my last all-star team that I took to the Vegas tournament, the LVI, if you know about that. I told my guy, Mike Hicks, he's half Japanese, I think. And I said, you know what? I'm done with coaching. I'm just going to be there keeping stats. You just do whatever. Maybe I'll give you some advice, but I'm getting too old for this. I don't want to actually have the responsibility of subbing in guys. So you just do it. Although he was like player coach. He wanted to be player coach, and that's fine. And I was like, nah, I don't even want to worry about that. So coaches don't really have, that much influence on wins and losses, but they do, but they don't. CJ McCollum did a good job cooking the Warriors. Oh, you mean on the basketball court? Yeah. The CBA sucks. Yeah, yes and no. I'll tell you what, for fans, we can make a lot of predictions. The CBA being this way allowed me to predict that we would lose Quinten Post. So that's kind of neat. So that's the good part. So if I think of it that way, and that they're making millions anyways, I understand that Kyle Kuzma has a point. But heck, in the grand scheme of things, Kyle Kuzma, what's 20 million to you versus, 6 million versus 2 million? That's some dollar figures I probably won't ever see in my lifetime. So now I don't want to say that. I don't want to manifest that accidentally, right? But it's like at a scale that's, life-changing for us. So I'm not going to have as much sympathy for you, Kyle Kuzma. And it actually helps the Let's Go Warriors channel the way it is. So I'm going to vote for keeping it the way it is, at least for today. Clippers want to be bad. I don't know about that because you can't tank anymore. Curry to win his fifth ring. Yeah, sure. But hey, 4 is pretty good too. All right, Dean. Thank you, brother, for the high vibes. Trying to catch up on the comments, and then we can discuss DeMar, which is the same as LeBron, and then we can discuss my thing with Brandon Williams. Will Richard was a steal. Graham Ike. I don't think he runs the floor that great, so we'll see. DeMar had to take 10 million. Yeah, he gets 10 million, but it's not 25, so lost out on that part. All right, so this will be LeBron or DeMar. Would DeMar come here if LeBron took that? Would they split it maybe? Because you can split the non-taxpayer mid-level amongst multiple people. Did we do that? Do you remember, Dean, if we ever did that? I think we did it with, gosh, it's going back to that diminutive point guard, maybe Corey Joseph or whoever was before Corey Joseph that played on the Boston Celtics way back when. We only gave him a partial tax pyramid level. I think we did the same with Dante DiVincenzo. I can't quite remember, but yeah, we could split this, but would LeBron want to do that? And I think right now your last pitch to Rich Paul per Chris Haynes. Let's check the Discord to see if there's any updates. Chris Haynes, baseball. 6 teams still in the mix for LeBron, Valkyries. Okay. So yeah. Yeah, that's it. No news on the NBA front, thankfully. And I don't think you can pitch to Rich Paul, oh, we're going to get DeMar, so we're going to, here's $7.5 million for you and $7.5 million for DeMar. That might be a tough sell. I don't know that I would pitch that to Rich Paul. I think you just have to legitimately go, hey, we want LeBron for $15 million. We can pay $15 million. Here's how we'll do it. We'll trade Moody out to make space for LeBron. And yeah, that's our offer. So compare that against the Cavaliers, which I did. I mean, just go to this video if you want all of the spreadsheets on that. So what I will do now, since I've already done all that work, is let's explore Brandon Williams. So we talked about Quinten, and we didn't talk about Rui. So Rui, if you go to the Dunleavy channel on our Discord server, scroll up a bit, there's some stuff on Rui. Right here's all you need to know about Rui. So he agreed to sign a 2-year, $28 million deal. Darren Matsubara, ironically, that's the guy I was trying to get Jeremy Lin to sign with Darren Matsubara, but whatever, brother. Me and Jeremy have different opinions on things. That's okay. He's made tons of money, way more than I have. So, and he's had a brilliant career also in Taiwan. I tip my hat. I got nothing against him, but I will die on my hill of saying we would have made your career better with Darren Matsubara. Oh, well, it's all good. I'm told Rui Hachimura, the Lakers didn't have the cap space. The Clippers did. And according to Law Murray, who I got to meet one time through Chris Haynes for the All-Star Weekend here in San Francisco, he's a pretty good baller, actually. Law Murray reminds me of like a poor man's Latrell Sprewell. No, actually worse than that. So a welfare man's Latrell Sprewell. That's he even picked the number 15 for that scrimmage. Anyway, I digress. Law Murray said that Rui wanted to stay in LA. And it was a 2-year deal, and the Clippers have a team option. I don't know if he put team in capitals to make a joke out of Wasserman. Team. Okay, so Rui actually took a discount to stay in LA. So the Clippers, they got a discount, man. They got a discount on Rui. Rui gets to hang out with Ohtani every now and then still. And too bad. So cross him off the list for the Warriors. Oh, well. But there was motivation for Rui to stay in LA. So I don't think we could do anything about it. What are you going to do? So I'm not mad about that. And it's not like, oh, look what LeBron did to the Warriors. We lost out on Rui. Nah, Rui's going to stay in LA the whole time. Don't drink that Kool-Aid. So the next topic, as I look on my agenda for tonight, Brandon Williams. Have you ever searched on Brandon Williams and DeAnthony Melton? Well, Brandon Williams, first of all, let's look at his stats. The first thing I want to say is he went to school in Arizona. Pretty mediocre stats, nothing that jumps out on you. And the other thing I want to say is I have three things to say. That he had a good Dallas tenure last season off the bench. We talked about it last time. He had to play behind Ryan Nembhard, probably wants to get out of there. His stats from three land are terrible, 23%. However, he scores the ball. So he's a bucket getter, 13 points per game, but let's look at the per 36. If we go back, per 36 is pretty cool, man. Like 21 points per 36, was always able to do that. 2-point percentage, 58%, 55% on 2-pointers. I like it. Just his 3-pointers kind of suck. However, in 2025, it was actually pretty good. It was 400. Now, if we go to his sports reference, which is college stats, and go look at him in college, you will see that it was the same struggles from 3-point land. So that is a red flag. But then if we go look at his G League stats, Brandon Williams G League stats, hopefully it's on BKRef. Yeah. Boom. 30 points a game in G League? Dang. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like this pops off the page. 63% on twos and not bad 39% on threes. So I don't know what happened with his threes. Maybe it's just the dynamic of the Mavericks. If I had a whole bunch of time available, then I would look into Dallas Mavericks tape, or I would contact some people that, follow the Mavs, some bloggers, and just have them on the live and go talk about Brandon Williams if he ends up signing with us. Now, I was doing the thumbnail for this YouTube video, and one thing about Brandon Williams is, if you look at this, lo and behold, he was teammates with Anthony Melton in high school. 15 of you just jumped off the live. Shame on you. I gave you the punchline for tonight that not a lot of people know. Right here. Do you guys remember this? I actually remembered this picture of them exchanging jerseys, and I didn't give any more energy to it at the time. But the reason, as it turns out, they played together on Crespi High School in LA. And maybe that's why Brandon Williams hasn't signed anywhere just yet, because he's waiting for the LeBron thing to drop. Now, if LeBron signs with us, see, this is the good thing about having Steph Curry on your team and DeAnthony Melton, by the way. So if anybody's mad about us getting DeAnthony instead of Anthony Simons, maybe DeAnthony is the ticket to get another ball handler guard out there named Brandon Williams. So, so that's something interesting. And looked up the wrong B Will for college. It doesn't matter. B Will for college wasn't exciting. I think I did look up the right one, 23% in college. But anyways, have a feeling we don't trade Moses. Well, the feeling is that means you have a feeling LeBron and DeMar don't sign with us, which is fine. Oh, thanks. Brad Wanamaker. Yeah, Dismill. Brad Wanamaker, I think. I can't remember, though. Hey, someone likes the channel. Oh, thanks, brother. Another good one. Let me have a different background while I screenshot that. Once I get back from Tahoe in the month of August, I think I'm just going to tweet out and put on Instagram all of your cool comments. I appreciate that. Australian guy, Olbrich. Yeah, I like what I saw today from Olbrich, really, last 2 games. But yeah, B Will in college, the stats aren't that exciting. And let's see. So, oh, it said he was 6'7". Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Brandon Williams, if LeBron signs or DeMar, then Brandon Williams could be on a minimum taking Moses' spot. And what would our lineup be? Let's see. Rotation with B Will. Let's see. Steph. Okay, let's assume Jimmy's out. Who's our 2 guard? BP. Let's go Braun or DeMar. Rotation with B Will at vet min. I would start Melton though, but okay, I'll have Melton come up. No, I think Melton's better off the bench, so I'll start Pods. Fine. The 4, well, Draymond or Yaxel, and then Al at the 5. And yeah, we can. Oh, let's go replace Quinten Post in a minute. And then bench is Melt, B Will. Actually, B will run point. B Will at the point, Melt at the 2 guard, Gee at the 3, Yaxel at the 4, and I don't know, Bassie at the 5. Of course, Bassie doesn't necessarily need to play. We can go small ball 5 or small ball. So there's our rotation. I kind of like it. It's not that bad. I think, see, that's the thing is we can throw this rotation out at any one of these 3 through 15 teams, right? Look, I like that lineup against any of these teams. Like, that's a pretty solid bench, whether it's, Draymond or Yaxel starting. I like it. Okay, so let's take a look at what if we don't sign LeBron or DeMar? All right. Then we can bring in Brandon Williams on the non-taxpayer mid-level. We can split the non-taxpayer mid-level between him and Melton. So if this happens, you heard it here first. Let's make this Bassie because QP's gone. There's no way. No way we can match that. Let's call this Bassie and let's give him a minimum, which is 200,000 less than what QP would have made. Let's get out of here. So B Will, and we're 3 million under the apron. That gives us some wiggle room. Draymond comes back for 25 million. 1 year, right? Why not? Something like that. There's not much else we can do unless you wanted to. I guess you could trade for a guy. You could trade for a guy that's, I don't know, sign and trade Chris Middleton for, I don't know, Will Richard. I forgot about Will Richard. Sorry, Bruce, if you're listening. Will Richard is in the rotation somehow. I guess you can make this bigger. So we're going to split the non-taxpayer mid-level. We're going to give Brandon Williams what he would have made of, what he would have made, what Melton would have made. Give him a raise because, we got to give him a competitive offer. Can't just give him a vet min because he can make that back at Dallas. We're going to give Melton what we would have given him with the taxpayer mid-level, which is 6 million. That way we can save the biannual for next summer and get another free agent next summer. So that's another tool by getting another free agent. If we need to use that one, although we would probably use the room mid-level at that point, but it gives you optionality. And let's see, maximum salary of sign and trade of a receiving sign and trade. Let's put question marks on that. Let me max this out to be what can I fit? 2 more million. So what about 4.5 million total? So under this scenario, we can go and, well, Chris Middleton is already making that much as a veteran's minimum because he has 10 years of service. So I don't know, maybe there's somebody out there who's a free agent on a veteran's minimum that we can a little bit overpay. So let's call this overpay vetmin free agent. So that's my idea in case shit hits the fan and we don't get DeMar or Braun. I think we need to get one or the other. I would not just pass on either because even if you got DeMar, you could get rid of him at the February trade deadline and he'd probably still be worth 15 million out there on the market. Let's say we suck and we can just unload him for, or I don't know. Let's say we're doing great and he doesn't quite fit. We can trade him for, I don't know. Anthony Simons at that point. I don't know. But you'd have an asset to trade here. So this, so that's with DeMar, right? So we haven't looked at the rotation without Braun. So let's look at the rotation without NTMLE. That'd be Steph, Pods, no Jimmy for a while. Oh, Chris, I totally forgot Kristaps as well. He's healthy, right? Although maybe not through the 82-game grind. So I would actually start KP, my bad. So I screwed up the rotation on your screen. Let's see. We need a 3. I'm going to go with Guy because he's earned it. And then I'll have Draymond and KP. And then bench, we got B-Will, backup Steph. Melt, backup Pods. And B-Will and Melt played together in high school. So they got chemistry. And I'll go Yaks at the 3. Who else I got? Al at the 5. And, Yaks, yeah. Will Rich at the 2-3. Yaks at the 4. And Horford at the 5. Actually, I would put KP. I would split Horford and KP. So I'm going to start Horford and have KP as an emergency, save us late in the shot clock, KP. So there's my rotation for without using the non-taxpayer mid-level. I think it stacks up well against any of these teams. Roll out the ball, let's go. Ike instead of Bassi, I just don't think Ike's ready. Nah, I like Bassi way better. Ike does not run the floor well. But we'll see. Lonzo Ball instead of Jones. Well, Jones would be a 2-way. But Lonzo Ball, okay. Is he healthy? I thought we were looking at Lonzo last year too. So LeBron, yeah. So we got good rotation if we get Braun. Dorian Finney-Smith, yep. And yeah, we wouldn't be able to pay him more than the veterans minimum. You can't just overpay vet min free agent sign and trade though. You can't do that just with the guy that got waived though. Yeah, I totally forgot KP. But yeah. We're trading Moody to yeah, that's questionable too. Now, if we didn't trade Moses, let's go back to Moses maybe here. But the idea is that Moses is injured. We need another scorer. Brandon Williams isn't enough. We don't need another scorer with that. Well, what's Moses supposed to do? I don't think that's weird at all. I'm going to have to disagree with you. So let's do one where Moses stays on the team. So run it back is what we'll call it. Give Moses 12.5 like before, and we go back to being probably a tax-paying team. Moses Moody. Lock that one in. See, we're already up to the luxury tax, right? So NTMLE not used. So this becomes a veterans minimum. And we'll figure out what to pay Draymond in a moment. So let's go to veterans minimum. And D'Anthony becomes taxpayer mid-level. Have to use TPMLE. And that is 6046 million because I've done so many of these spreadsheets that I remember it. No, it's wrong. 6064. My bad. 6064. Quinten Post is no longer on the team, so let's go with somebody. QP replacement. Vetmin. Got a rookie minimum. Okay. Moses, NTMLE not used. And so let's go. Let's do this. No NTMLE, Vetmin. Okay. Now we can pay Draymond up to 20 million. So dude took a discount of 7 million no matter what. Mainly it got Melton on the team. So that's really, and it a little bit paid to Horford, just a tiny bit more. So this is maximum we can pay Dre. No. We're at second apron. Well, I'm glad you're seeing me make mistakes as we go. We need to be at the second apron. So then, am I missing anybody? Because that we have a lot of money left over. Moses. Let me reorder this. Melton. Yeah, we got 18 million off thanks to the Porzingis pay cut. I don't think we're going to run it back. So I'm glad that you brought it up. Because whoever brought it up, running it back, this just doesn't make financial sense to run it back. We need to be under second apron. And we have 13 million that's not being used. Is that right? Let me see. And we don't have any other ways of getting more salary because, like I said, it's hard to trade any of these guys. We're making certain assumptions. Let me do this and reorder this. So this is 14th slot. Make it a veterans minimum. I don't think you can sign and trade Quinten Post either. It's like you just have to match the offer and you're stuck with it. I don't think you can trade him for 6 months or something like that. Would be a little bit too easy to do that. Kind of defeats the purpose of Memphis submitting an offer and then, you can just match it and then trade him out. No, that's not fair, right? So I don't think you can do that. Anyways, that's only a 200,000 difference from what he was supposed to make with us. Yeah, a lot of the salary that came down was Kristaps. So you see how this works? Like, why would you do this? We're still under the first apron, so you might as well use it. I kind of think that means Moody's days are numbered. Why would you? Yeah. I don't know. What if we just paid Draymond his old salary, 27 million? In fact, I'll truncate it to 27 million. Yeah, you could do that. Just pay him what he was making before. Just go back to that. And you got some working room to get under the first apron by the trade deadline if you so desire. I don't know what you would do. I think it would be in February, you would have to trade. You'd have to get 15. You'd have to trade Kristaps. And then you could sign Klay Thompson. That'd be kind of crazy. Would you rather have Kristaps or Klay Thompson? I don't know. I'm just kind of making it up as I go. Quincy Olivari. I know. I like him too. I don't know. The fact that he's not on anybody's team anymore is kind of a red flag. Bobo. Those are some names. Let QP go. Yeah, we let him go. He's done. Then technically we can match. Oh, yeah. We can match. Yeah. We could. Okay, let's try that. My bad. I'm glad you guys are here to help me out on this sometimes. You're absolutely right. But we only have like 48 hours to match. Oh, man. So let's go here. Let's give him 10 million. Match Quinten Post. Let's go Quinten Post match. This is crazy. You know, we should do two of them. Let me undo this. Let's call this RIB, run it back, no QP. And then we'll copy this. RIB QP. So QP comes back 10 million. What did I call this? Quinten Post match. Let's bold this so that I know. Oh, excuse me. So that I know that we're changing that value. Bold this as well. Lost Quinten on that one. And what can we pay Draymond? up to 25 million. Yeah, that barely gets us under. We'll probably give more wiggle room. Say 22.5. I don't know why I put Vetmin on this one. I'm going to erase that note from the previous copy. This one is actually DeAnthony. My bad. Goes there. Got to fix it on here. And don't know why I had, that's also old notes from before. So there we go. And in this case, we could, yeah, you can't split the taxpayer mid-level with Brandon Williams. It's not enough money. In that case, Brandon Williams goes to another team, I think. Unless he wants to come on the veterans minimum. Matching Quinten Post. So if we match, then we're can we get under? Yeah, let's do a QP match. Match QP. Is that even possible? I mean, my original number said no. So, we'd have to trade out Moody. Moses out. Vetmin. See where this leads us. Let's zero out Draymond. I don't know why I have Kristaps in bold. He's unchangeable, as I've been saying. All of these. Okay. Go back here. Okay. Can we still trade him out? Am I missing a player? Huh. Well, I guess I'll double check my work after the live is done. Check your comments in a second. But, oh, yeah. There's not enough room for both Draymond and LeBron. There's only, what is this? 23 million to spend. Yeah, we did that already. So there's actually less than that, 22.5. Draymond would only make like 8 million. It's somewhere in here. So if you match Quinten Post, yeah, I don't think it's going to work. We did that way over here, though, didn't we? Yeah, it's the same spreadsheet. So I don't know. I'm going to delete this. Right here with Moses, as I said, we only have room for 5 million. Now, if you're abandoning the LeBron and DeMar idea, and you got to do that in 48 hours, which is by now it's 36 hours, then if you want to keep Quinten Post that badly, then doesn't look like you can go and get LeBron anymore at that point. Or DeMar. So it squeezes your flexibility. And the fact that Quinten Post making 10 million is an overpay. Yeah. All signs lead back to utilizing the non-taxpayer mid-level. If it's not LeBron, then it's DeMar. If it's not DeMar, then go ahead and split the non-taxpayer to get Brandon Williams and D'Anthony on the same team. Go back to paying Draymond a pretty healthy salary. He's not going to be disappointed with that. And I don't think there's any choice. You kind of have to do this from a financial perspective. So based on my analysis of all these spreadsheets, I think Moses's days are numbered because you do have a fallback plan if you can't get LeBron or DeMar at the non-taxpayer mid-level. And you're going through all this trouble. I don't really think you have a choice. You have to go through this trouble to try and get LeBron maybe. And Moses is injured anyways. So, like, if he wasn't injured, then maybe we don't do this. So in a way, almost like a blessing in disguise. Hate to say it that way, but from a cap sheet management perspective, it feels like we lucked out that it just so happened this summer Moses is hurt and we're trying to get LeBron. Or maybe it would have made no difference if he was hurt or not. Who's to say? But he's hurt right now. So we can't do the what if. What if he was, not hurt? He is hurt. So because he's hurt, it makes it reasonable to say that if the fallback plan of all fallback plans is Brandon Williams to team up with good old teammate D'Anthony, and he's a scorer, then so be it. That's the price you pay for trying to get LeBron, or that's the price you pay for trying to open up the non-taxpayer mid-level for a free agent that can come in and play more games than Moody would have played in that amount of time. We're not giving him away. So I don't think we're giving him away. I wouldn't word it that way. Now, I could be wrong, though. There's something that this is my first time coming to that ultimate conclusion. I mean, I did come to the conclusion that if it's LeBron, then it's Moody right here. LeBron in, Moody out. We went through this already. That's how I built the spreadsheet. That's how I got to this endpoint. But now, once again, talking through it and actually doing the run it back plan, it's like there's no reason to pay Draymond so much. Like, you might as well utilize the exception that you have for getting under the tax and staying under the first apron. We cut down Porzingis' salary. We cut down Draymond's salary temporarily, at least, let's call it, sort of. And you go through all that trouble. I don't know. That's what it looks like to me, but yeah, maybe we do run it back and we say, man, let's just stay under the first or just stay over the first apron by $1 million. What would that be? So take out 6 million, 21 million for Draymond. Yeah, we're over the first apron. That means we're or we're over the tax. So we have to use the taxpayer mid-level. Interesting. I wonder if we could be a team that's over the tax, over the first apron. No, we can't be over the first apron. Yeah. We're not using the non-taxpayer. Has any team ever done this? Where we're over the tax, but we're over the first apron. So we don't get to use the non-taxpayer, but we do use the taxpayer. It just doesn't make sense to do that. Like, I don't know if there's an analogy out there. There's only one analogy. It's the NBA collective bargaining agreement, where why not duck under the tax and be able to shop for a free agent? I don't know. It's complicated. Are we trying to get below the first apron? We're trying to get below the first apron. If we can exceed, well, it depends on what we were doing when you asked that question. Running it back would be a copy and paste of last season. No, Yaxel. What are we getting back from Moody? LeBron, DeMar, or Brandon Williams? I know Brandon Williams sounds terrible, but you go down that path, you go down that path. Can you add LeBron and Dre at both 15 and 0 out both Moody and BP in a trade for both the two? You're going to trade BP? Okay. Let's just call this trade Mo. Let's call this trade Mo plus BP. Who are we going to get for, whatever. Okay, I'll do it. Fine. You said 0 out both Moody and BP. Well, not really 0, but make them, we're saving $3 million on Brandon. Make them vet min. Pods out. I don't know why I said sign and trade free agent. Oh, yeah. Huh. What am I doing here? 5 million max. That was Quinten Post. Let me update this. Oops. QP replacement. Get rid of that. I shouldn't have done that because I want to save this. Braun, no QP. All right. Braun, QP max. And let's go back to here. Pods out. I don't think we're trading pods, Dean. We're not trading pods because his salary minus vet min is so little. Like, what's the point of doing this? What do you want me to do? Who am I trading for? Right? So delete. That makes no sense. Now I could be wrong. Oh, once again, I could be wrong. Tomorrow, breaking news, Shams. Warriors have traded Moses and Brandon Pajemski for, so I guess 17 million, because Moses gets to be 12 million. All right, I'll undo that. Moses is 12 million, Brandon 6 million. So an $18 million player. Mathurin. You have to give me the name of the guy. No QP, okay. It's not that much. QP replacement. You got to name the player, brother. Just like I demand of other commenters. Let's see. I guess you're trying to figure out what player you want. Somebody making under, somebody salary matching Moses and Pods. Go. That's your job. 17 million. Oh, you mean sign and trade Moses and Pods for like DeMar? Oh. No, but you needed to create space only for that. No, that's not going to work. Because see, the logical thinking on that is I had to trade Moses 12.5 million out to create the non-taxpayer mid-level exception here at 15 million. You want me to add Pods? Well, that's not needed. Only Moses is needed to do that. But you want me to trade out Pods for what? Some other trade that's at the mid-level that's not LeBron or DeMar. And the Lakers aren't doing a sign-and trade. I don't think they are. And DeMar's getting waived, so we wouldn't be able to trade for him. He's a free agent. I don't think we can take back 18 million. What if we sign? Huh? I don't know. I don't understand that. What is take back 18 million? That makes no sense. Out of the teams LeBron is interested in, which do you think is the most at disadvantage the longer they wait? Probably the Warriors. Yep. Because we have the most to offer them. So we're holding the spot. The most Denver can offer him is a veterans minimum. Probably the same with Miami. We went through this. It's on the other video. So that's right here, the Philly video. I don't know if you saw that or not, but LeBron salaries with other 5 teams is right here. So let me see if I can fly through this. Minnesota veterans minimum. They got to trade. I don't need to put Rui in here anymore. They got to trade Dante and Josh Green to get LeBron. I guess they could do it. So just like we got to trade Moody, so they got to trade Dante and Josh Green. Or they could offer him the taxpayer mid-level, but that sends them over the second apron, so they can't. So yeah, that's what Minnesota has to do. And define hurts, right? Define disadvantaged. Yeah, so probably the Warriors, because they still have a good squad without LeBron, right? Why does this one don't say 1? Funny. And Denver can probably go taxpayer mid-level, 6 million. And Miami can do the rest of the non-taxpayer they spent on Tim Hardaway. So 8.5 million to Miami. That's a good advantage. James Harden would have to take an enormous pay cut for LeBron to get the taxpayer. And they'd have to trade somebody out to bring in LeBron. Cleveland would. Yeah. So, I don't know. It's tough. I want to see how much we can get back with both of them minus the 2 minimums coming back. We can't take back 18 million because Dre's salary would push us over the tax. Over the first apron, not the tax. I still don't understand what you're trying to do. What is your goal? I want to see how much we can get back with both of them minus the 2 minimums. Doesn't make sense. Anybody else understand what he's saying? Why is Butler not? Because nobody wants a 56 million. Who wants a $56 million injured guy? Can't offer NTMLE if you're over the tax. Just use the first apron number. It's easier. Assume we can maneuver, we can order the transactions so that we first get under the tax, thanks to LeBron, thanks to Draymond. This is what Yossi told me. You have to tell me what you're trying to do. Who are you keeping? Who are you trading for? Like, I don't, isn't it an easy question? I don't get it. Techni didn't make any legit. Oh God, really? Weren't you here earlier? Again, unsung stranger. Let me show you. Oh, which one is the trade Moses one? Braun. No, we should just go here to the Hoops Hype salary cap view. First thing is, a lot of contracts come off the books next summer. Draymond's not even on here, and he'll come off the books. So remember, Draymond's not on here. This guy, we're not trading. Jimmy Butler is old and injured, so nobody wants him right now. Kristaps Porzingis, we're not trading. Not only old and injured, but I was told by Yossi Gosling that you don't sign him to something with only 3 million guaranteed and just turn around and trade him, that would be not cool. He's never seen that happen. And because I came up with, since April, I've been coming up with sign and trade possibilities for Porzingis. And then suddenly the other night on the Philly stream, he tells me, no, they're not trading Porzingis. It's just not part of the culture. And then Draymond, we're not trading Draymond because he's part of the Warriors. He gave us a discount to go and explore possibilities with LeBron. We're not trading him. And he wants to be a Warrior. So him doing us this favor, I mean, again, that's akin to us not trading Porzingis. And then Moses Moody is injured. So you're going to have to dump that salary, which is what we're doing if we get LeBron. So we're trading him for nothing. In fact, we probably have to send out a second-round pick for somebody who knows that we need to trade out this salary slot. It's nothing against Moses. It's just that that's the number. So Dean wants to include Podziemski. That makes no sense. We'll figure out in the next comment what he means by that. So you just really need to trade Moses. You can't trade Pods. It's too small of a number. If you traded Pods, then Draymond would make like $8 million. And he's not going to say yes to that. He would say, you know what? Push comes to shove. You got to trade Moody so I can make more than $8 million next year. So these 5 salaries are basically untradeable. So when you say didn't make any legit offseason moves, that's why we're snake bitten. Just accept it. Like, there's no need to get mad. Like, Warriors Twitter doesn't have the patience to sit on this live stream. 65 of you have. Pat yourself on the back, because I'm telling you, don't be mad at your team. It is what it is. So what? Steph Curry is old and we're paying him $62 million for 43 games last season. Jimmy Butler, old and tore his ACL. Yeah. Oh, well, it happens. So just deal with it like anything else in life. You just can't go through life complaining about everything that doesn't go your way. So anyways. Yeah. Again, Pods makes $6 million. So you are trading a $6 million player for a vet min. Like, Moses is the slot that has to go for LeBron to come in. 12.5 million for 15 million, right? Easy math. Like 2.5 million, that's not a big deal. We'll figure it out. You know, you're trying to include Pods in the deal. I already tried to trade Pods only. It didn't work. We're over the first apron. Moody makes too much. Simple as that. Unless you want Draymond to take a salary that's below the non-taxpayer mid-level, or LeBron, then yeah. If somehow, you know, I don't know, how do you go to Rich Paul and go, oh, but actually we now want to trade Pods, so it's going to be 12 million for you and 12 million for Draymond, or 15 million for you, and you know, you gotta give them a sheet of paper with numbers on it that doesn't change. Like, keep it simple for the recipient. So are you really going to go to Draymond and go, okay, you gotta have a salary of 12 million, brother, and then we'll try and trade Pods, which might actually be easier to trade. But those numbers are so small. And not only that, but that's what Yossi told me. If Yossi thought that Pods could be traded instead of Moody, then he would have said it. But he didn't. He said, it's Moody. In fact, I actually had a conversation with him. I said, I'm trying to trade out Pods. And he was like, I don't think so. And sure enough, I did the numbers, and it's not going to work. So why would you trade out Pods and Moody to bring in LeBron when all you have to do is trade out Moody? You don't need to trade out Pods, right? So I don't get it. Last season, first apron was blah, and Warriors payroll was blah. Makes me wonder if we're willing to go over the first apron again. Yeah, but I just explained it. I know it's complicated, though. All of this is complicated. Yes, but I was just reasoning. Thanks, Matt Johnson, by the way. Reasoning how we're going through all this trouble to get under first apron. So why would you go over? I could be wrong, though. This is my first real try. So yeah. Appreciate you, Matt Johnson. Oh man, it's a lot to go over. I don't expect everyone to just totally understand it, number one, or number two. I appreciate Dean Chambers' try. I appreciate it. We're trying our best, right? We're trying. Certainly trying harder than other places on the internet, right? So yeah, I don't even remember which worksheet it was, but we're going through all this trouble. Whew, oh man. Kind of deduced that you could run it back with QP. Problem. Need to figure it out in 48 hours. We got 48 hours to match, and I don't think it's worth it. You don't want to have a salary on your books that you can't handle. It is only for 1 year, though. Comes off the books. They put a little provision in there for if he makes all defensive team, which I thought was kind of silly. Quinten Post is not making no defensive team. Okay, maybe he is. That's a weird one to put in there. Maybe they just wanted to entice Quinten Post, or maybe it was optics. Like, okay, hey everybody, we actually researched Quinten Post, and he's actually pretty good on defense. So we're going to put this little thing in his contract, that says if he makes an all defensive team, he gets a bonus of $1 million. Meanwhile, everybody who knows Quinten Post as not being the best defender, honestly. I mean, okay, maybe he can get better and better like that, but I don't think he's anywhere near being on a second team all defense. So that was a weird thing that they put in on that. But I don't know how that affects. There may be a little catch to that. We may need to, I think it might count. It might count initially on our cap sheet because it's an incentive in there that's unlikely, but you have to count it until a certain time. I don't know. Where was the one where we went back to? Yeah, right here. Yeah. So remember, yeah, this to answer your question. So if we're gonna just go back to being over the first apron, and we're only over the first apron by $1 million, then why wouldn't you get under the first apron to then go get that free agent out there, even if it's just Brandon Williams? And yeah, it sounds silly to trade out Moses for Brandon Williams, who's making less than half of his salary, but Moses is injured, so I can see the justification for doing that. But yeah, it would be weird it would be as weird to do that as it would be to stay 1 million over the first apron. And you had Draymond opt out, so you have the mechanism to get under the tax. See what I mean? Like, it's so hard to get under the tax when you're so top heavy like we are. Like, look at that. That's 118 million. You literally only have 50 million to spread amongst 10 slots. That's an average of 5 million a slot. No, not 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You after Steph and Jimmy to get under the tax. Oh, wait, I was looking at the cap. So to get under the tax, you have 118 million. You have $72 million to spend on 12 slots. That's like 6 million each. And you have Yaxel. He's a draft pick, so you have to pay him. Like, you don't really have a whole lot to get under the tax usually. And now Draymond is giving you the optionality to do that. It just feels like it was so hard to do that. So, and you're so close to it. Why wouldn't you just do it? That's the hard part. People that the Warriors is not attractive for big free agency targets. Yeah. I mean, we are old and we have a top heavy salary cap sheet. As I explained earlier, why would you want to come to a team that doesn't have a lot of trade options? DeMar still might come. You never know. We're not the most exciting team because we finished 37 and 45. We had 2 starters injured though, but we still have 2 starters injured. So of course it's true, but it's nothing to hang your head about or walk in shame. It just is what it is. You have to man up and get through this. QP gone and Moody gone. How much it's always been the non-taxpayer mid-level. Yeah, it's okay. These are reps. We're getting our reps. It's just like Steph going to the gym here, getting his reps. You know, he can't not get reps. We got to keep coming back to these spreadsheets when something happens to get our reps on that and to reinforce our knowledge of how all these things work. And honestly, really, I just want to impart to you that it's nothing to feel bad about. It's like, you know, it's like your men's rec league team, 2 guys are injured and you already paid the registration dues for the league. And you're like, can I get a refund from the league commissioner? The league commissioner's like, I mean, I feel for you. You have 2 starters out with catastrophic injuries, but I got to run my league, man. Like I hired the refs already. I know how that feels because I used to be a commissioner of the league. Like, no, I can't give you a refund, man. You just have to man up and get through it. QP is a huge loss if we don't match. It's not. $10 million gets in the way of LeBron, DeMar, whatever. Memphis could get away with poaching him. I disagree. It's not a huge loss. You can't look at everything like that. We got 2 starters injured. That's untradeable. Even trading Moody's going to probably cost another second round pick, and we're not getting anybody back for that, right? So in essence, it's kind of like trading Moody for LeBron or DeMar or whoever it is that takes up that spot. When you get in that negative state, you want to blame somebody. There's no one to blame. I mean, really, if I look at all of this and you pointed a gun at me and said, blame somebody. Okay. Well, I'm going to blame Steph Curry for being only 43 out of 82 games. And I'm going to blame Steve for not playing Jonathan Kuminga and raising his value or making him fit. Because if you had played him, then when Jimmy went down, then he still wouldn't had to, want to trade. But we got into the playoffs to beat Houston by Steve not playing Kuminga in the Memphis playing game. I think Steve nearly lost his job. If we had not beaten Memphis, that's grounds for firing because you didn't play Kuminga and Gary Payton screwed up against Harden, got the 3 ball and won. That was lame. Gary also made turnovers. He was horrendous in the Clippers game. And that's who you played instead of Jonathan Kuminga, and you need to be held accountable for that. But he got away with it because he did the same thing the next game, and we won. We beat Memphis. So Steve escaped by the skin of his teeth, but we had to turn this into Kristaps, and Kristaps hasn't played every game. So that devalues that. So that's a $24 million slot. That became, he made 24 million, same salary as Kuminga, right? 30 million. Yeah, we traded Buddy Hield and Kuminga. And so 30 million became 19 million. That one's on you, Steve. That one's on you for reducing the salary slot of this. I can't do much with this, and I super can't do much because, well, I gave him a second-year salary that's only guaranteed $3 million, so that's good on me. I did what I could, but yeah. Then again, maybe we needed to. There's a lot of what ifs. Maybe we needed to beat Houston to prove that still Steph and Draymond can still win a series for you. Or that Şengün isn't really that great. And then Şengün reproved it this year. So can we not? I'll use that as reasons for not drafting Mara because all the Warriors fans think Şengün sucks now. Well, then why would you draft a center in the first round, right? Or go out and get a center, so this just leads to other discussions, but I don't want to just do what everybody else is doing, which is make you feel bad about the Warriors. I'm trying to make you feel better about the Warriors. The only thing we can hope for is just fully healthy. We're still pretty potent, and Yaxel's great. But I mean, what are you going to do? Butler and I mean, what are you going to do? Oh, trade pods. How? That's a paltry salary. $6 million. What are you going to get back? Now, if we don't do anything, I would probably, I don't know if I would extend Pajemski, because then you got the base year compensation rule. Let's say you paid him 17 million extension, then you could trade him for divided by 2, 17 plus 5, or 17 plus 6, 23 million. Let's call it 18. 24 million, then you could trade him for a $12 million player. But yeah, who out there is like 12 million? And I mean, just wait till February at that point. But you guys are so impatient. I mean, just enjoy every game. I think you roll out the ball, and we have Steph on our team. He can go on a flurry any given game, and everybody goes home happy. Just enjoy Yaxel. I mean, like, there's going to be some time in your life, like everybody goes through this, whatever you do, it's unavoidable. You're going to have some major potholes in life, not just basketball. And you've got to learn how to get through that. And getting through that is just enjoying every day and just accepting how it is and making the most of it. So that's my advice to you. It always just comes back to being high vibrational. That's why every single watch party I say, let's be high vibrational. Let's have high vibrational fans. Let's enjoy the game the way Steph does. Steph doesn't go into a game and go, oh, we didn't make any moves today, or we're running back the same squad and we couldn't get anybody. Oh, woe is me. You know? No, he loves basketball. So just embody that. That's my advice to you. Of course, I'm not here to force you to feel any certain way. I'm just telling you that if your love for the game and the Warriors is really the essence of who you are, then none of this bothers you. Don't let Warriors Twitter make you feel like the Warriors are trash. Don't let them do that. Don't let 95.7, those guys, they're paid. You have to understand the media landscape. What are they going to do for, what I'm doing right here doesn't make any money. It'd be crazy to do what I do here with you guys. I just do it for the love. I don't get paid for this. What? My YouTube earnings for tonight will probably be $5 to be on here for 2.5 hours, maybe 3, to try and spread knowledge and tell you how it really is, that there's nothing to cry about. But radio stations, they can't do that. They need to pay these guys salaries to be on the air for 4 hours. So what else are they supposed to do? They need to show outrage. They need to show emotions, and they need to make sure when you're driving on the freeway and you're listening to them that you stay listening to them instead of changing the channel to music or something. They want you to keep feeling bad about the team so that you don't change the channel. And same thing with everybody else that tries to go on Twitter and throw your team under the bus and come up with a podcast to reinforce all of those negative feelings, right? You have to understand how this information gets tossed around. Of course, they're not going to sit here and tell you what I told you, which is all of these numbers and how to manage a team. So I have no problem with Dunleavy doing what he's doing because he is literally handcuffed. And I'm not going to let that affect when we roll out the ball. And, there's going to be some things that happen on the court that frustrate me. I'm going to need Steve Kerr to prove to me that he can teach how to not turn the ball over, because that's not what he's been doing for the last decade and a half. So there's that. So when we do turn the ball over, I'm going to go, that's on you, Steve, because you said we would change the culture to not turn the ball over. And there it is. We threw the ball to the wrong team. And yet I'll probably give him some grace. And I'll probably go, that's the modern NBA. They're going to throw the ball to us, and we're going to accidentally throw the ball to them. That's the modern NBA. Deal with it. So, yeah, but now we got Yaxel. So we got a little bit younger in a way. And so I'm cool with it. It's still basketball. And I still think the Warriors have the best franchise ever. And never forget, we're never trading Steph Curry. Who just traded Giannis? Milwaukee Bucks traded Giannis. They're in a situation where they had no choice. We will never be in that situation. And that's something to be grateful for, because that doesn't happen in today's capitalistic world, ultra capitalistic world, where you could lose your favorite player. You really could, due to circumstances. Next guy on the chopping block, maybe Donovan Mitchell. Let's hope for Denver's sake that it's not Jokic, although he did not extend. So if shit hits the fan in Denver, then Jokic may want to leave under his own accord. And then guess what? We become a possible destination. Then all of a sudden, playing with Steph for a couple years and then becoming the face of the Warriors franchise might seem more attractive. You never know. They traded Luka. How could you? Now, that was a one-off because Nico is buddies with Anthony Davis. But the owner, it was a corporate machine. So Mark Cuban screwed up. He sold the Mavs. Lacob said he would never sell the Warriors. Lacob's already better than Mark Cuban because Mark Cuban sold the company, sold the Mavs to a corporate giant who didn't know that Nico had the capacity to do this, who didn't know that trading Luka was actually the worst thing that you could possibly do from a basketball standpoint, just basketball. They make too much money. They're casino operators. They make too much money to realize that. Then now they regret it, but it's over with. That won't ever happen here. We have Lacob. He will never do that. So while Warriors Twitter is out there every day finding new ways to throw Joe Lacob and Mike Dunleavy under the bus, because that's what they do. They just keep recycling that negative energy. I'm asking you, don't go there. Just come to Let's Go Warriors. Sign up for our Discord, because we don't inject emotion into these logical posts of logical news. I'm the only guy here that says, you know what the real problem has been? It's that the number one guy on the salary chart hasn't played 82 games in a row, and especially last year. And then the slots below him, just shit happened. Klay Thompson was one of those, and he had an ACL tear during the time, and then the Achilles. That's tough to deal with when 40 million can't even play for 2 years. So you look at all these things that happen. I mean, it's basketball. I'm not going to be here crying about it. I love the game too much. All right. Phylon going to be a star. What? No one was traded. See, this is great because Warriors Twitter would tell you that we didn't do enough to get another draft pick. Just like no one was really trading their picks, you know. Teams like New York, picked up a ton of second rounders, which we didn't have, to move down. We can trade Jimmy and KP. Ah, the old late guy. Well, we already talked about that. So as if I didn't happen to mention why we couldn't, even when you were on late, but it's getting way too late for me I can't save all of you guys. If you want to be complainy and you want to just reinforce how bad the team is, that's on you. But I've given you plenty of reasons not to feel that way. So do you think for next season that either stuff? Absolutely. A la Brunson. Thank you, Brunson. And I've said that before on here. Steph will give us a discount. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Especially, here's a silver lining. With all of these moves that we can't make right now, maybe that helps Steph give us an even bigger discount for next summer in light of, hey, look, we just couldn't do anything. We're stuck. So maybe, take a bigger discount like Jalen Brunson and we can really do some stuff. How about that? Even it out a little bit, huh, Steph? Yeah, sure. Why not? 30 million. Yeah, I just signed with Li Ning. No big deal. Heck, I'll play for the non-taxpayer mid-level. Okay. Actually, we will be a cap team. So we just, whatever he wants to do, we'll figure it out. We'll just sign him first, get under the cap, and or sign him last. I don't know how it works. We'll have to get the lesson from Yossi Goslin in August. I will try my best to get Yossi Goslin to see how we can do that. In fact, I already texted him about this. How would we build our team next summer? And are we able to go shopping for free agents? And he didn't reply. So, yeah, I don't know. He's been busy. Give him some grace on that. All right, next live will be tomorrow. I can't go live unless something drops. Okay, tomorrow, if something drops. But Wednesday, July 8th, from Lake Tahoe, Steph on the golf course. So that's why I wore my old Steph golfing thing. Last thing is, don't forget to, if you're on Kick, please follow. And that's kick.com. Let's go Warriors with dashes in between. Well, thanks for hanging on, everybody. I hope you are more high vibrational than Phil Mack. Like, if I took you to Chase Center, Phil, is that what you would do all day? Hey, Rich, thanks for the seats, brother. But, man, we're a 30-win team, brother. I'd be like, get out of here. You don't deserve to sit here in Chase Center. What kind of fan are you? Are you going to cheer for the team or what? So, yeah, same thing, man. You come on, let's go Warriors. Let's don't say that stuff. Why? We have enough of that going on Warriors Twitter. Let's balance it out at least. Let's go overboard and say happy things about the Warriors. $80, huh? Yeah, that's the going rate, though. All right. I'm gonna delete that part because I don't want to be low vibrational. Because I feel like when I have to point that out, then I feel like I'm complaining. I'm complaining that you're complaining, and that's a paradox. So I can't do that. But yeah, I love the conversation too, Yeah, you talk it out, and I'm just trying my best. Cool, man. Yeah. No, I mean, I hope this way of looking at it, you can translate that to life, because I think that's important. Not everything goes my way. I mean, yeah, man, it's tough. So I'm looking at it as more opportunity later. Like, I'm gonna have to go find something to do, find some kind of side job to make ends meet, like next month. But I'm gonna go to the golf tournament, and I'm gonna give my vibration as if that's already happened, as if I can actually afford all those things. And then next month, I'll go do a job, whatever that job might be. Maybe similar to Dean Chambers' job. And I'm going to go in there, and I'm not complaining one bit. I'm going to look at it as I'm doing this job and I'm actually helping somebody. Somebody's inside, deep down inside, they're grateful that I'm doing this job for them, whatever it may be. Whether it's DoorDash, Instacart, what have you. Whatever it may be. Or maybe YouTube revenue will just pop somehow. Or maybe I'll get 75 followers on Kick, and Kick will pay me to stream. Like, that's why I joined Kick. They have this thing like, oh, they'll pay you $16 an hour to stream. But yeah, you need 75 followers and so on and so forth, whatever you need to get there. So go follow me, go create a kick.com account, follow me there, and I can do more of this. But I got to stay positive about it. I can't complain. Otherwise it becomes manifest. Then truly I'll, not be able to pay the rent or what have you, right? Like, I don't want that to happen. So I got to think positively. I got to think as if I'll always be able to do this, and think in abundance. Yeah, that's the key. Got to think in abundance. Rick Barry. Hey, thanks. Want to see the team at its best. Well, you said it's a 30-win team, so that's low. All right, guys. So next live again tomorrow. Yeah, Dean. Well, Dean, I feel like Dean's even more high vibrational than I am. So appreciate you, brother. You hang in there as well. And next live, yeah, tomorrow. Or let's do the Kick one. Yeah, I just avoid this. See you guys Wednesday, probably, unless something drops tomorrow, because I'll be out of town tomorrow. So it kind of be hard to do a live stream tomorrow, honestly. But Wednesday, maybe from the golf course. Yeah, Steph Curry. Ooh, I hope I have reception out there. Sometimes I don't, so I'll try my best. But yeah, Steph Curry. We're gonna go back to Wardell on the lives. That'd be pretty cool. Take care, everybody. So just us 1, 2, 3. Brate, let's go Warriors, and I'll see you Wednesday. Thank you, Phil.